I do this with my teams. I've done this with different clients. I normally do this on a little more intimate basis, so I can kind of help prod and poke people into some of these answers. This is the largest group I've done this with, so I'm gonna talk about the concept, kind of guide you guys through. If anybody wants to share, we'll go through that. But what first and foremost, Marlon really put it on the tee for me because he had such passion and energy for what he does. Like, who would like to have that passion and energy about everything they do? Right? Okay. Well, so we're all different. We're all built really different. One of the things I talk about that I do in my business is help people stop expecting other people to think like them. So that's how we work on team development. That's how we do leadership coaching. But at the end of the day, we understand how people think different when we understand ourselves best. Personal awareness, self-awareness is the most important thing towards our job satisfaction, towards our success. Everybody over the course of their careers has seen that person that's in a job that they're like, I never want to do that. But that person loves that job. They're really good at it. They're really successful. Like, I've met some CPAs that are really wealthy and love what they do and can talk about it forever. And I'm like, God bless you. Like, that's never something I could do. And just that example alone says we all enjoy different things. Certain things we like, certain things we don't like. So we're going to do just a little bit. We're going to do a little exercise, and then I'm going to give you a couple of takeaways for the exercise. You can keep this, do whatever you want with it. Take it home, share with your significant others. Take it to your workplace. Do it with your employees. And then, like I said, we'll have some takeaways. So this is a workplace preferences activity. And so what I want you guys to do on your scratch paper is draw a quadrant. Just 2 lines, 1 line up and down, 1 line across the table. And at the top left, I want you to write, I love it. Top right, I like it. Now on to the bottom. On the bottom left, I tolerate it. And on the bottom right, I despise it. I really toyed with putting hate on there just to really emphasize it, but I felt like despise is a more professional word, so that's what we went with. So here's what we're going to do. So the I love it, this is something you would do for free. Something you love doing so much. Now this is, again, workplace preferences, so things in the workplace. Something you would do in the workplace that you would do for free. Marlon, for example, storytelling, listening and storytelling. He does do it. He wants to get paid for it. He does get paid for it, but he also does it for free and he loves it. So I'm not offering your services for free, but I know he loves it that much. Things that you like, that's something you look forward to. So if on Sunday night you're thinking, oh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Well, there's a chance you might not be looking forward to anything. But if you're like, I gotta go to work this week, but you know what? I'm looking forward to this meeting. I'm looking forward to this activity. I'm looking forward to talking with this person. Something that you look forward to. You wouldn't do it for free, okay? You wanna get paid for it, but you look forward to it. That's what I like is. I tolerate it is something that you don't hate it, right? But it's something that it's fine. It's fine, but it's not something I would choose to do. I have to go to work this week and I have to turn in all my TPS reports. I have to triple stamp the double stamp. I have to have a meeting with this person who I would never spend time with outside of work, but it's fine. I tolerate it, okay? And then lastly, I despise it. Something you want to avoid. You might have to do it sometimes. You might have had to do it and you were like, I'm never doing that again. But it's something you don't want to do beyond, like, you dread it. If you're on Sunday night, and I use this terminology a lot, I talk about Sunday night. How are you feeling about what you have to do on Monday on Sunday night? So if on Sunday night you're like, oh my God, I have to do on Monday, and you're dreading it, that's something you'd put here. So for example, so we have this laid out. For example, cold calling. Who loves picking up the phone and cold calling? Raise your hand. Who loves it? Liar. You are a liar. I know you. You're my client. Who loves cold calling? Nobody. Okay? Who wouldn't mind cold calling if they got paid for it? Okay, there's a mind. Okay? Okay? Would anybody look forward to it if they got paid for it, or were you just not, you wouldn't mind it?
I just don't mind it.
All right, so that goes in your tolerate column. That's an example, especially in this room where people are entrepreneurs and small business owners. We have to sell at some point in time. We have to talk about something. If we're fundraising, maybe for a not-for-profit, that makes it, you're doing it for a good cause, so it makes it a little more palatable, but it's still probably a tolerate. So not everybody does it, but for example, that's something to put in your tolerate column, okay? If you like cold calling for money, put it in your like column. This is just an example, so everybody write this down. Or tolerate it. You put your cold calling in there. Okay, let's talk about bookkeeping. Bookkeeping would be your accounts payable, your accounts receivables. It would be logging invoices for people that need to pay you. It would be sending them out to remind people, things like that. Who really enjoys the bookkeeping element of their business or a business they worked in? Who has QuickBooks? Do we like doing QuickBooks? Is it kind of like, oh, I like doing this? Or is that something like, well, I have to do it. I wouldn't choose to do it, but I would have to.
I don't like to do anything that has anything to do with spreadsheets.
Okay, so, right. So you do it if you needed to,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, I have to do it, but I don't like it.
All right, so that could, for you, depending on the energy you have for it, that could be in tolerate it or despise it, okay? Who loves meeting new people? I go into a room, I get to meet new people. Okay, every one of you that raised your hand that said love, right? Would you do it for free? Would you meet new people for free? Okay, put it in your love. I love it. I love meeting new people. Who doesn't like meeting new people? It's okay. This is okay to raise your hand if you don't. Okay.
Yes, they didn't come.
All right. All right. So if you needed to meet new people, it's not your favorite thing to do. I know I need to meet new people to talk about the thing I do, to talk about my business, but I wouldn't choose it. Then it's tolerate. I tolerate meeting new people. If I would do it for free, I love meeting new people. If I look forward to my job requires me to meet new people because I need to sell the thing that I do or the service I do, I like it. If it's like, it's fine, I tolerate it. And if you're like, no, humans, no thank you, then it's despise it, okay? So let's think about another activity. Who likes putting together presentations? Like, you like the visuals. Thanks for coming. It's good to see you. Yep. So you like to put together a PowerPoint to talk about something. You like to design stuff. Okay. Would you do it do you love it? Would you do it for free, or do you like it? Hey, I got to do it this week. I like to do that. That's fun. I look forward to the time that I get to do it. Then it goes in your like column. Okay. What about investigation? Who likes investigation? Who likes listening and trying to apply your logic and what you know to solving a problem? We're going to do problem solving also, but investigation. Okay? If you would do it for free, if you love it, put it in love. If you really like it, you look forward to it, put it in like it. If you're indifferent to it, put it in tolerate. Problem solving. So typically, investigation and problem solving are separate things, because investigation, you need to extract the information before you problem solve. Problem solving would be a lot of times in sales, you're problem solving, right? In consulting, you're problem solving. And if you're listening to something and taking that in, then you're actually doing something with the information you investigated. So problem solving. I like taking my information, this is you. Do you like taking your information and solving a problem? Do you love that? Who has friends, who in this room has friends that call them for every time something's wrong and they want help?
They call me.
Okay? So they call, if you are the person that gets called because you can solve all the problems, you might be good at it. It's probably at the top of the page for you. Like it, love it, right? You might be that person that says, listen, I just want to do my thing. I don't want to spend all of my time fixing other people's stuff. You might actually be good at it, but you might just tolerate it. So problem solving might be a tolerate for you. Okay, it's probably not a despise it, but it's a tolerate. Okay, sales. Now what you're doing with sales is you've met somebody, you now need to go talk to that person. You already know them, it's not a cold call. Now you need to talk to them about the thing that you do or have that they might need. Who likes selling? Who loves, okay, I got a little bit of, maybe depending on the person. Okay, so hold that for a minute. Okay, talking about your thing. Okay, who's like, no, I don't. I didn't get a lot of hands on that. And I got some hand, I didn't get a ooh, me. So the fact that I didn't get the ooh, me maybe means it's a like, not a love. Or some days, depends. Maybe it's a tolerate or a like. Okay?
Well, maybe I love talking about what I'm doing.
Okay, great.
So I love that.
Okay.
But I just like it when I'm not talking about what I'm doing.
Okay, then, so what you would do is say, I love talking about my stuff. I love selling my stuff. I like selling other people or helping other people. Okay? All right, so these are activities. So give me an example. Go ahead, Liz.
I love talking about what I do, but I absolutely despise asking for the sale.
Okay, great. So despise asking for the sale. So write that down. Asking for something, asking for the sale. And you led me into the next step in this. What are some other things? Something we haven't covered so far.
Can I step back to sales?
Please.
For me, it's with my position,
Okay?
or with what I do, I guess, every day. It's pretty much sales. It's kind of required with my position.
Okay?
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be selling everything to every customer because every customer has different needs.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes, like both. I think that's what
Okay. Okay.
So that's
So here's an example of what to do with that information. So what you don't love it and you don't despise it, you're teetering. So that just means you want to further define it. So when you're thinking about sales, I was very general when I said sales. Now we'll get into a few more specifics. So it might be kind of like what Cindy said. If Cindy's selling her thing that she's really passionate about, she knows the value it adds to people's lives and their businesses, she loves it. If she's selling something else that might be important, she might be like, well, I like that, that's okay. I can tell you, so I run a mortgage office. So when it comes to me, like I love talking to people, love problem solving to customers. Somebody's like, how do I explain the mortgage process to me? How, it's stressful, whatever. I love selling that. Here's the thing, here's what you should do. Here's what I think, here's your situation, here's what I think you should do. In order to get more people to come to me to talk about mortgages so I can sell them on mortgage product, I need referral partners. At best, I teeter between despise and tolerate. I tolerate selling myself to referral sources. Hey, you should refer people to me. You should talk about my business because I'm really good at it. I know a bunch of stuff. I would not look forward to that. I would do it. It's fine. I know I need to, but I wouldn't look forward to that. But when you send me somebody, I'm excited about that. I would look forward to that meeting. I'm meeting a new person, investigating what their problem is, solving a problem, selling them on the solution. But what I had to do to get to that point, I just tolerated. Okay? Despise. Who's got something? Talk about a job duty, current, previous job, whatever. Something that they have to do occasionally that they despise.
denial.
Say again?
Denial.
Denying somebody. Giving somebody bad news.
Yep.
Right? Despise. Giving somebody bad news. Write that down.
Yep.
Paperwork. Okay? Documentation, paperwork. Got that? Dean?
I like meetings, but I despise meeting with people who don't think outside the box.
Okay.
This is a great networking, but if you throw a bad idea out, I don't feel any judgment, but that bothers me.
That's great.
Because I'm always on my heels. If
Yeah.
somebody's like not willing to take an idea and
Yeah.
understand.
Boy, I tell you, that specific situation is an entire conversation about why those people don't do that. So we're all built different. There's reasons behind that. I'd love to connect with you on that. I'm not selling you. That's a free conversation. Firing, letting people go, termination, okay? Conflict. Who despises conflict? Raise your hand. Who loves conflict? Who would conflict for free? Okay, this guy right here, watch out. Right, okay, conflict. All right, Liz, what do you got?
Conflict resolution.
Okay, that's problem solving. Conflict resolution. Like it, love it, great. That's solving something, fantastic. Okay.
I was gonna say, I love conflict because I've discovered how to deal with it. And now it's like when it comes up, it's so much easier.
Awesome.
Just dealing, but with despise it's, I love talking about what I do, but I hate doing it on social media.
Fantastic.
Like, I absolutely hate.
Did you write that down?
I did.
Okay.
The very first thing I wrote down after loving to talk to people, I hated social media.
All right.
You should talk to Marlon.
Yeah. Okay, Ashley's cheating. She's been through this process a little bit. So we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Anything else? Anything else that let's go love and let's stick with love and despise. These are the extremes. You're going to end up with most of your stuff in like it and tolerate it, but something else that you love that we didn't talk about.
You said company meetings.
Well, we did talk about meetings. So company meetings?
I just bounced.
Oh, you did bounce. So you missed that. So company meetings or collaborative meetings or something like that. Okay. Something you really love?
Traveling?
Traveling. Great. Okay. You love that. You do that for free. Great. Write traveling down. Ashley?
I said collaboration.
Collaboration. Fantastic.
Dealing with new technology.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. Great. Okay. What else? Any other things that I'm going to say despise, what I really mean is hate, but something you've had to do or you have to do now that just you hate that we haven't talked about? Marlon?
Telling myself when to take breaks.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not good at pumping my own brakes.
Okay.
Like I just want to keep going, and I don't know if that's like the autism hyperfixation portion of things where I'm like, let's do it all now.
Okay.
Time management. It is, that's probably.
Time management. Great. Okay. Yep. Great. Okay. All right. So there's a couple purposes for this exercise. One thing is to get you to think about it. There's four things, not two things. It's like, I like it, I don't like it, right? You're like, okay, in my job, here are things I like, here are things I don't like. There's also some terminology behind this. These are things I get to do. These are things I have to do. If I ever write a book, it's going to be called I have to get to. I have to get to. Because you want to do more things that you get to do than what you have to do. Thank God we get paid, right? That's because you get paid to do things you have to do. But you're happiest when you spend time doing things that you get to do. When you talk about time spent, now you've got these things listed. You've got these things on the bottom. You've got these things on the top. Take just like 10 seconds. Everybody look at your list. Do you spend right now? And you don't have to do today. You don't have to do this week. You can say over the course of a month. If you need to, you can say over the course of a year. Over a period of time, do you spend more time on things on the top or more time on things on the bottom? If you currently spend more time on things on the bottom than things on the top, raise your hand. If you spend more time, if I have 40 hours in a work week and I spend more of that time down here on these things than I do on these things, raise your hand. Okay? There is one really good reason why all of you people are in this room. This is a proactive networking event. Everybody is here because they want to do better, they want to achieve more, they want to learn more. I can tell you right now, you can all think of somebody who might be a sourpuss, who might not be happy, who is perpetually negative. Does anybody ever worked around anybody who complains all the time? Raise your hand. Okay, unanimous. I will tell you right now, it is very possible that person spends more time down here than up here. They don't know themselves, so they're just going with the motions. It is common to take a job, do what you're supposed to do, move to the next step. Hey, it's time for me I'm going to go for this promotion because it makes more money, or it's got another title. I'm just going to keep going and going and going and going and going. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do things. They actually don't know if they like those things. They just do it. At some point, you get to that place where you're just not great to be around. It's not because you're a bad person. No one comes to work to fail. No one comes to work to fail. But you might have no idea what you actually enjoy and what you don't. So things down here take energy from us. Things up here give us energy. This gives me energy. If you spend time, especially here, if you have a day, you might have worked your butt off. You might have grinded for 8 hours, but you were, great timing. But you were doing things in your love column, you might go home geeked. Like, I just worked my butt off, but I could run a marathon right now because it was stuff you loved. You might sit in an office all day, do nothing. You might not get up, you might have a normal lunch, you might be have done all the right things theoretically to have physical energy, but you did stuff you tolerated or despised all day and you might be exhausted, mental exhaustion. So there is a direct correlation, and I'm gonna get to your takeaways now. There's a direct correlation between job satisfaction. If you're up here and spending time up here, you are happier when you're in the workplace. If you are down here, you are not. So the goal we should all have, your personal goal, you can only be self-aware for yourself first. You can only control yourself first, even if you're in a leadership role. Your goal should be to constantly move your time like this. Away from this to this, away from this to this, away from this to this. If you are somebody who you spend all of your time right here, you are absolutely blessed and you should share your energy and vision with other people. Most likely you're going to spend 80% of your time here and 20% time here and you're in a perfect world. That would be just wonderful if I spent almost all of my time up here and not down here. Okay? So you do that for yourself. What you do with this is think about your employees or your family members or your loved ones or your friends. You can take a picture of this actual sheet if you want to. Take it with you. You've gone through this. You can do this with somebody to help them figure that out. What the answer was going to be, if anybody had said, and I've been through this, I spend most of my time down here. You, my friend, are in the wrong role. You might not be at the wrong company, but you might be in the wrong role. I've seen people who are natural salespeople who end up in bookkeeping role because there were 3 employees. Somebody's got to do it. And they're miserable and they flake out or fail out. And I've seen it the opposite. I teach some classes at IUSB. I've done this there. And I will tell you, there are some people that have bookkeeping up here and bookkeeping down here. Sales and meeting new people up here, sales and meeting people down here. We are all different and none of us come to work to fail. We all want to achieve stuff. We all want to do stuff. We are different people. If you are unhappy in the workplace, if you're not achieving something in the workplace, that is a symptom of a root cause. The root cause is self-awareness. What do I really enjoy? What do I like to do? Where do I feel there's value? You want to align your duties with that. Now, for the entrepreneurs in the room that are building their businesses, it might be just you right now. And just you has to do all the things to grow your business. As you grow your business, you don't want to hire somebody else who's just like you, but that's common. Because we get along with somebody, we really like somebody, oh my gosh, we connect on absolutely everything, we're thinking the same all the time. That could be a big mistake because neither of you want to do the other things that are needed in your business. So when you're building a business model, when you're building out, you want to find people who enjoy different things. Now, I just gave you guys this, you can do something simple like this and it achieves most of what I do when I do disc assessments and personal meetings and all those types of things. You can go through this. If you're interviewing somebody, if you're considering working with somebody, you can go through this and say, hey, you know what? Tell me some things you love. What would you do for free? Tell me some things you like. Tell me some things in your job you look forward to. I've done thousands of interviews in my career. There's all kinds of forms and templates. I use these things. Tell me something you really despise doing. Tell me what a bad day looks like. What do you not want to do? What do you hate in your current role? And they're going to answer you because they're talking about themselves. You're asking them about themselves. And then you can say, hey, okay, well, here's the duties we need. Or if you're working with friends or family, hey, you really don't like these things. Find something that has job duties. So when you're looking for another job, it's not just the title. It's really important to see the job duties in a job description. Where would all of those things lie? My wife's a great example. My wife's an executive. She just considered, she got recruited for another role. Great opportunity, win-win situation. She went through this to make her decision. She ended up staying where she's at because so much of her stuff is up here. And in the new role, there were a handful of things that were down here. It helped her make a decision. So, okay, that's everything I have. I
Also,
think
I'd
I
like to
covered stuff,
say-
so ask questions. Go
I'd
ahead.
like to say, I hired someone to do the things I don't like. So it's under the despise, this area right here. Last year, I hired a virtual assistant.
Okay.
So this time of year is when I do heavy recruiting for the Women Entrepreneur Mentoring Program. And it's in the month of, it's actually all of December and all of January. And it's a lot of things that I dislike, like spreadsheets, research, keeping track of everybody, like where they are, like did I interview them, did they do the next step? I mean, there's a lot of steps to getting started, and it created a lot of anxiety for me. And so what I decided is, since now I'm not in corporate America, I don't need to have a lot of anxiety. That's why I got out of that. So I decided I'd just bite the bullet and hire someone to handle that. And Janine Eubanks, who comes to this, I hired her. She's amazing. You can hire her for a minute or for a lot of hours. It's up to you. And so put her on retainer, which I decided. And at first, I really resisted because I thought, I'm spending money paying somebody to do something that I can do. I mean, I don't mind paying someone to do something I can't do because then I have to factor in, do I want to learn how to do that thing? But it's hard for me to pay somebody to do something that I know how to do. So I put on my CEO hat and said, what is your hourly rate? And are you willing to spend your hourly rate doing spreadsheets and follow-up emails and contacting people? And if you think you're overpaying for those functions, then you need to pay someone less and have you do it. And this is my second year of having her handle this for me, and it's just been amazing.
I can see, and so I've known you a little bit. I can
Yeah.
see that in you too, because when you're talking about stuff, you have more energy. I can tell you're not as bound by some of those things that take
Right.
energy from you.
Right. Oh, thank you.
So,
It's amazing.
yeah.
If you want to learn more about Janine, I wrote my first blog about her and her business.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Go to my website.
Awesome.
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 Learn about Janine Eubanks there.
Awesome. Any questions about this activity?